You are listening to the Starter Girls podcast with Jennifer Loading. Whether you are starting a project, starting a business, starting a brand, or starting a movement, we are here to talk about it. And guys, I got amazing guests coming on here today, so we're going to get this thing started. It's a great day to be brave. You might as well start now. You have the power to change your circumstances any day you decide. Let today be that day. Rise up, be amazing, be you, do you. All right, guys, I want to welcome Cas Haley to the Starter Girls podcast. Welcome, Cas.
Hello.
Awesome. So I'm going to tell our listeners real quick a little bit about you, and then we're going to get going. I'm super excited to chat with you today. Sunshine, rain, or storm, it's all the same. Blessings always come rearranged. These lyrics from Cas Haley's newest single, Every Road I'm On, give a glimpse into the mindset that has kept him and his family moving forward through it all. Cas has had his ups and downs, both personally and with his career, but through it all, his optimism and attention to those blessings have served him well. Cas' latest single, Every Road I'm On, was the winner of the recent Lincoln Chart Your Course competition, mentored by John Batiste, and even aired during the broadcast of the 2020 Grammy Awards. With the big win, Cas signed a talent contract with Lincoln and a recording session with the legendary producer, engineer Al Schmidt at Capitol Studios. Cas recorded multiple versions of the song, one version produced by up-and-coming reggae producer Nathan Aurora, the original solo acoustic version, which Cas won the Lincoln competition, and the version recorded at Capitol Studios. The EP was mixed by Grammy Award-winning engineer Rob Fraboni, whose credits include Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton, Bob Marley, and many more. And get this. He's released several albums. We're super excited about that. And for our listeners, he was featured on America's Got Talent in 2007, where he performed Walking on the Moon. So welcome, Cas. We are super excited to have you here on the Starter Girls podcast.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so I want to get started. I want to start just kind of from the beginning, how this all came about for you, like where you are now, because obviously you've been playing for quite some time here. So kind of take us through this a little bit, how all this came about for you.
How much time do we have?
You've been playing for a while. I was like totally looking at all your stuff. I am so impressed. I'm impressed.
I mean, it's I started playing music when I was around 12 years old, and my parents both are musicians, so I sort of grew up with it in the house. And I always knew that this was my path, and I really I have to give credit to my mom and dad for giving me the kind of spirit that says you can do whatever you want to do, just do it. Sort of the Gary Vee vibe of like, you can do whatever you want to do, Cas, go do it. My parents really, really instilled that in me, and it was I just always knew that this was my path, and I feel really blessed and lucky that I had that spirit, because I think that's what enabled me to be able to push through all of it, is that I really had that belief. And, my first big break was on America's Got Talent in 2007. By that time, I'd been playing music, a long time, 14 years at that point. So it took me 14 years of playing music to be able to get a break. And, America's Got Talent was a pretty crazy experience. It's sort of a happy accident. I didn't plan on doing it. I had a good friend that was acting as my manager, and he asked me to go and audition. And so I ended up going just really to prevent him from getting upset. And then the next thing I ended up being runner-up, and the whole world knew my name, and we had some viral videos, and then from there, I mean, for the last 13, 14 years, I've been traveling around the world, playing music, writing songs, trying to cultivate the kind of career that is sustainable and that includes my whole family and that is good for all of us. That's a big thing of mine, is to try to make sure that my actions and my business are all in line with really, good for the whole, a holistic family kind of centered business, So, it's been a journey. There's all kinds of stories. I can go on forever.
There's so many good points. I was just listening to all that and so many good points you made in there talking about how you'd been playing for like 14 years before you got your break. And immediately, that's coming to mind to me. And this is the part where the success coach part where I come out. Like I'm always talking about to people about these flow moments that you have where flow is when you have recognized where your happy spot is, like you're doing something that you really love doing. And when you're in it, you get so in it that you can lose track of time. Like it's your thing. You know what I mean? And so one of the
Yeah.
things, I took this course not too long ago, and it was called A Life of Happiness and Fulfillment. And it was one of those courses where like I went through it and I'm like, this is kind of cheesy, but there was some cool stuff in there. And one of the things they talked about were these flow moments. And they said that when you find your craft, it takes about 10,000 hours in that domain before you become really good at it. So when you said that 14 years right there, that's what that made me think of. You had those 10,000 hours of practicing over and over and over in that happy spot that led you to that big break. You know what I mean? And I don't believe in accidents. I
Totally.
think things happen for a reason. So
Yeah. I don't believe in accidents either. I believe that, it's just a matter of, presence. Like you're saying, the flow state for me is like just the ability to be present within the moment that you're in. And that's when the good stuff happens. And after you spending a lot of time present, you're able to generate, results,
love
because your
that.
awareness of everything, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it, man. I'm into this.
Well, and I love that you're bringing the family in this too. And I think that that's so important too. When you get people, there's a couple things that I'm thinking of here. The fact that you've had some great, your parents were great at encouraging you, because I think that's another thing, especially giving in the field that you're in that creative space. So many times people are shot down in that. And really, it just takes that tenacity and persistence to keep pushing through and keep pushing through. And the fact that you had great, you know, parents that were supporting you from the get-go. I love that. I think that's just immensely
Dude,
important.
it's huge.
Yeah.
It's like it's one of the major factors that kept me going, and that the fact that I believed that I could do it.
Yeah.
As far as the arts are concerned and music, it's not really a viable career path.
Sure.
I really feel blessed to have had that. I mean, it's pretty incredible for sure.
I love that. I love that. And so I want to talk a little bit about your new release that's coming out. And I want to kind of get the story, I guess, a little bit behind that, because this song was played at the Grammys and how this kind of came about for you, because I'm super excited about this. So share a little bit, I guess, maybe the driving, the motivation behind that, and, kind of what inspired you to do that.
Sure. So the song was written last summer. The family and I were on the road, and the song came about between conversations of me and my wife and the family. It was almost like a family written song, because what we were talking about and sort of contemplating is like, how do we transition from being at our home and feeling this sanctuary and this place of peace, and be able to bring that with us on the road. And we were last summer, we were in this zone where we were coming out of a really heavy 2 years with my wife being diagnosed with cancer. And then she had 6 months of chemotherapy and a double mastectomy, and just, it was almost 2 years of a year and a half of treatment for cancer. But we were in this place where we were the healthiest that we had ever been. And we were just in that flow zone as a unit. It's funny that cancer, for me and for our family, really brought our family together in a really, really amazing way, where the flow state wasn't just about me, it was about our family being in the flow state together. And I think that's the goal, is like, how do we generate that? So the song really came about, in that kind of spirit of like, wherever you're at, whatever road you're on, whatever tragedy you're going through, try to think about, how do you cultivate presence in that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you be present and accepting wherever you're at? Every road I'm on is my home. and it's just the whole be here now, the old ancient message of being aware and accepting where you're at and realizing that it's your reactions to things versus what happens to you that defines the future. So that's where the song came from. And then about 3 months later, we were on our way to Minneapolis, and I seen an Instagram ad, and it was called Chart Your Course, and it was by Lincoln, the car company. And it had this very deep, reflective sort of artist spirit, Joseph Campbell, sort of the hero's journey kind of vibe to it. And I looked over at Cassie, and I just had this clear vision. I was like, Cassie, we have to enter this songwriting competition with Every Road I'm On. And I'm not one to go and enter competitions. It was 13 years before I entered that other one.
Right.
And I hadn't entered a competition since. And before that first competition, I'm just not one of those guys that's entering a bunch of competitions online,
Sure.
even though I've entered a couple that had some major, effects and success from. I had this feeling like I've never had it before. I've never had such a clear vision of an outcome as that moment. And within 2 weeks, I got the notification that we were picked as a semifinalist, which is actually what my initial vision was of winning. I was like, oh man, I know we're going to win this semifinalist position. And then, it was like, we're going to have extra money because it was like $17,000 that we won and a chance to be in a commercial. That's all I knew at the time. I didn't know anything about the Grammys. I didn't know anything about the documentary that they were filming about the story. So it was pretty magical. And then things got really crazy when the production team, the film crew showed up on our farm. I mean, I thought that maybe they would send a few guys and it would be like documentary style where it was still a part of the competition of who gets to be in this commercial. I didn't realize that it was a documentary and a story about the narrative of well-being and the narrative of this sort of artist journey and sort of spirit of the song and stuff. And they showed up with like 30 people. Hollywood showed up on our farm, and we had 3 days of filming. And then they did this for 3 other artists as well. So at this time, there was 4 artists that were picked. And after they came and filmed this first sort of mini doc on my family and our journey and the song, then the voting started at the beginning of January. And it lasted for like 3 weeks up into the Grammy Awards. And the Grammy Awards, each one of the contestants' commercial aired during the broadcast of the Grammys. And that was the last night for people to vote. So we ended up winning. The whole time I made sure that I did every possible thing that I knew how to win it. I really tried to win this thing. This moment with this particular opportunity, I realized that luck truly is what's the old saying? When opportunity meets preparation or preparation meets opportunity. That's so true. Like, because when you know what to do with something and you just know beyond a shadow of a doubt how to do it and know what to do because you have that experience, that's where like I just felt so empowered that I knew what to do and that we could, I feel blessed as well. I'm not trying to sound egotistical. Like I did this all
I love
myself.
it. I love it.
But I know that, I felt so blessed to be able to have the clarity to see the steps that I needed to take to be able to win this thing. And then what I won, well, when we won a talent contract with Lincoln it's like a spokesman talent contract to star in this commercial for the Lincoln Corsair, sorry. And, also, they filmed a road trip and a documentary where I was, going and visiting with different mentors and songwriters and sort of helped me craft this song. And then the road trip ended at Capitol Studios where we recorded with the legendary engineer, producer, Mr. Al Schmidt. And yeah, so it was been amazing. And then COVID to happen. The commercial was just about to come out in April, so everything stopped. and and we won a car too, but everything stopped in its tracks, and it was quite incredible how this whole thing had happened. And then, we came into 2020 just thinking, I mean, this is the best time of our life. This is the biggest opportunity, way bigger than America's Got Talent, as far as just true to my brand and true to our family and just like everything about it. So that's sort of where we're at now. And the Lincoln campaign's getting ready to kick back up. And so we're excited for the fall, and the commercial is going to start airing, and the documentary is going to be available and stuff coming in September. And it's going to be some pretty exciting stuff,
Yeah, I'm excited. I was getting all excited listening to all that, which it makes me want to get on to this next question, because you were talking so many things about, you just have this incredible optimism. And I love that. I think that is so immensely important when you're trying to do something. So I want to ask you this fun question, this mindset question. So like because obviously you've had success, and you talked about not entering a lot of things, but the one thing you said that resonated with me is that when you said you were going to go in this and like you had that clarity, that you were going to win this, and you did, like it happened. So what I want to know, because my listeners, I get a lot of talk a lot about success and mindset here, is when you are going after something, what does that look like for you? Like, what does that headspace, everything look like for you?
I'm a workaholic, so I really enjoy process, and I enjoy working, and I'm a Capricorn. So, I also lucky to be able to do what I love. So I can go. The thing that has tried to keep me in balance is realizing that me working for 12, 14 hours a day on whatever is not good for my family.
Right.
So as far as, this is truly, besides for knowing that I meant to play music, write songs, and knowing that I'm meant to keep my family in this holistic approach. This particular moment, I have never felt more prepared to deal with that particular, opportunity. My process for that was literally just to make lists, make a list of everything that I need to do, everybody that I know, and just go through the list every day, write it down. And that's what I did. I made lists of all the different things that I needed to do, whether they were running, whether it was, reaching out to everybody that are influencers to let them know that I had this opportunity and ask them to support it. And, just all the different things, write it down and go after it. I mean,
I love
It's
it.
a tough question that you asked.
I know. I know. You did well. You did well, Cas.
If you do, I mean, and there's really there's a difference between and it's hard to tell sometimes the difference between feeling like you know what to do and absolutely knowing what to do and being 100% sure in that. And, I knew that this was different because I had never felt such clarity with it and stuff. And, I would just tell people that you go with your gut. And if you have clarity about something and the way that it needs to be done, that you need to do that. And no matter what people say, no matter anything, it's like I am an advocate of you doing exactly what you want, and sometimes doing exactly what you want is going to lead you to a super hard place, but that's exactly where you're meant to go, So,
yeah. 100%. I love it. 100%. Chris is back here laughing at us right now. This is what I say every day. I'm all about gut instinct. I'm like, if you've got a hunch and it keeps coming back and nagging at you, you got to go with it, run with it, and just take it as it comes. And if you have to hit a few, roadblocks, you just welcome those roadblocks and you just move around them,
Yeah. I think a big thing too is having your, I try to refine on at least a monthly basis. If I have a vision about some creative project, I try not to get too stuck. Like I'll take a look back. Like my whole career's sort of been like that, where from album to album, I'll have a vision,
Yeah.
whether it was my album, More Music, More Family, and I'll have a vision about something. I'll start writing stuff down. I'll say, okay, this is the way that I pursued my career in the past. These are the things that didn't work. These are the things that I was attracted to. And so I sort of take notes on where all my gut instinct is, and I refine and just move forward. I think that's the thing. It's like there's a difference between doing what you want to do all the time and being blinded by a vision or by a dream versus like refining your dream of doing everything, looking at setting your goals, going after it, but then also taking good moments of reflection and refining that as regular as you can, whether it's every 3 months or whatever.
Sure.
I think that's a huge deal for me, is just continually refining my approach.
Absolutely. Good points. Lots of great points there, Cas. I love it. I love it. So a couple fun questions I want to ask you. I always like to do this. This is not that haven't been asking you great questions, but I'm going to switch gears on you a little bit. So are you a morning or a night person?
Morning.
I love it. Means you're up and ready to go. All right. Cat or dog person? Or
dog.
Both? Dog. Okay. Awesome.
Dog.
And what's your favorite food?
Man,
that's a hard
fat.
one, huh? I like fat too.
I'm really a big fat person.
That's so funny.
I love all kinds of food. I love Indian.
Do you?
I love barbecue. I mean, I say fat because I've lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
With a diet that is surrounded around fat.
Well, I eat fat too. So I did keto for a really long time. So I could totally get with you on that.
me too. Me too. I've about 2 years of doing keto. So
very good.
And it's been a life-changing thing, and it's corrected my type 2 diabetes. I mean, I've reversed so many different things. So
yeah, good for you. That's so awesome. I didn't even know that about you. So, but this is the neat thing, is that I learn something new every single day from somebody. So yes, I love hearing stories like that, because I reversed a nerve condition by doing keto for 22 months. So I'm a big advocate of low carb. Not necessarily everybody has to do keto, but I do love hearing when people have success stories from, removing carbs and getting some healthy fats in the diet. So yay, you. That's an awesome story. So
yeah, man.
Fun question really quick before I want to let you play in a minute, but before I do that, I want to ask you a fun question. If you could be any character or superhero for a day, what would you pick? It's a hard one.
Yeah, I always consider myself a superhero. The eternal optimist is what I say, but I would probably, if I had to pick one, maybe Superman. I'm a big, or He-Man.
He-Man. I haven't had anybody say He-Man. I love that. I had somebody say Xena, the warrior princess, the other day. And I was like, yes.
I was a huge He-Man fan growing up. So.
He-Man, that's great. I've not had anybody say that. See, I learned something else today. This is awesome. So I know you want to play something for us today, or we asked you to play something for us today. And I want to let our listeners hear. You have such an incredible voice. I think you're a talented artist. I love your optimism. I love everything that you have going on, and just how you guys are just really able to push through the adversity and just keep going. And I think that's so incredible, because so many people get blocked by that stuff. So that's incredible. So I want to let you take some time to play. So what are you going to do for us today, Cas?
So I'm going to play Every Road I'm On, which is out today, and you can go and stream and listen to it right now.
We're excited. All right.
I'm going to unplug this. Here we go.
Sounds good.
You guys good on your end?
We are good.
Can you hear the sound?
We're good. We can hear you. Chris gave me a thumbs up. Yay.
Take me down the road that I've been given. Burning painted pics of broken dreams. Lately I've been snooping around for meaning, breaking ground to grow the things I need. Said sunshine, rain, or storm, yeah, it's all the same. Blessings always come rearranged. Sunshine, rain, or storm, salty, sweet or plain. Oh, the blessings always come rearranged. Yeah, they do. Dum bum 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 bum. Oh yeah, here they come. Shopping around the scene for inspiration. I'm facing facts without looking back. I'm on a roll of the dice without thinking twice. The only plan I have is here right now. I said sunshine, rain, or storm, yeah, it's all the same. Blessings always come rearranged. Sunshine, rain, or storm, yeah, salty, sweet or plain. Oh, the blessings always come rearranged. Yeah, they do. Dum bum 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 bum. Oh yeah, here they come. Y'all ready? Oh yeah, here they come. Said sunshine, rain, and storm, yeah, it's all the same. Blessings always come rearranged. Sunshine, rain, and storm, salty, sweet or plain. Oh, the blessings always come rearranged. Yeah, here they come. Dum bum 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 bum. Oh yeah. Take me down the road that I've been given. Every road I'm on is my home.
Yay!
Woohoo!
There he is.
I can hear you now.
Yay! I wanted to tell you, you did an amazing job. Yay!
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Chris and I think Chris was kind of dancing back there, maybe. It was awesome. Thank you for sharing with us. You are an incredible artist, and thank you for sharing your story with us today and just blessing all of us. I love your optimism. It is so, in a world with all this craziness going on right now, it's so refreshing to have people that are optimistic. I love the energy and just all of that you're exuding out. And your art, your creativity is showing all of that. So you're definitely doing what you're gifted to be doing. So thank you for all of that and blessing us today. And so with that, I want to tell our listeners, of course, if you love our podcast, please be sure you give us a rating both on iTunes and Facebook, because we can't do this without you, and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. And I want to leave you guys with a final thought. The ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. All right, you guys take care, be safe, and be kind to one another. We'll see you next time.